Christmas. I'm all about it.
Welcome, everybody, to our special Halloween episode of Vox Vomitus. I am your host, Jennifer Ann Gordon, the horror novelist of Beautiful, Frightening, and Silent, and From Daylight to Madness, and the soon-to-be-released When the Sleeping Dead Still Talk. I am joined by my two Vox Vomitus vixens, Trisha Mckee, the author of the Beyond series, and our 1950s pinup girl, for today, and Miss Allison Martine, the author of the Bourbon books, who today is dressed like Pusheen.
Yeah. And I'm finding myself in the cinnamon room because it's like 85 degrees here.
I'm wearing gloves and sweat like in feathers, yes. So I'm quite warm. So, first of all, I just want to thank both of you ladies, Trisha and Allison, for being game to dress up and be on the podcast today for our little pre-Halloween party. I'll use any excuse to dress up. Like, I just was out in my kitchen and the dog looked at me and was very confused. I think he was like, "Oh, why are you wearing toys?" Because I am wearing like feathers and there's like dangling things. And
trying to bat at him.
Oh my gosh. So, Trisha, you love everything the 50s, don't you?
Yes, I do. Ever since I was little, I was such a weird teenager. I was all about the 50s and I don't know. I don't know what it is. I love the look. Oh, yay.
Yay. Hi, Julie.
Hi.
Oh, no, that's... So, Julie, who just popped up, is one of our dance students. And she and her husband, Bill, are incredible supporters of my work. Bill has been one of my beta readers for a long time, and they always rock the best Halloween costumes when we would have Halloween parties or 80s parties. They were great. We did an ABBA party. They were awesome. This is why I wish we could see other people now, but I don't think they're dressed up.
I was gonna say I want to see like pictures in the comments of everybody's favorite costumes, but I don't have a way to see it during the stream, so we'd have to go back and look later. We can do that.
Yeah. So thank you, Marilyn, for commenting on my crown, my lovely golden spiky crown. Spiky. So back to the 50s. Trisha, who is your favorite 50s movie star? Do you have a favorite 50s icon?
It has to be Marilyn Monroe. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I adore her.
So in fifth grade, I was in a private Catholic school, and we had an assignment to do a report on a famous person from history and what they meant to you. And I did Marilyn Monroe as a 10-year-old in a Catholic school. And I got a book out from the library, and I loved that book so much. I cut out all of the photos of Marilyn Monroe from inside the book and returned the book to the library.
Oh my gosh. And
my parents had to pay $60. And they were so mad. And they were like, "You can't take books out of the library anymore." And I'm like,
That's severe.
No, I think they understood. They went to just buying me books. They didn't deprive me of books. But I think they understood. Because there was a time before that. Yeah. Because the time before the Marilyn Monroe incident, I just didn't return the book. I was like, it is gone. It is gone forever.
It is mine now.
It's mine. Yes, I do understand that. I still have that. If I like a book so much and it's like, I have to return it? That's so cruel.
But if it's from a library, then you want to buy your own copy and get that one back so that other people can love it because you want to show up. I become like the evangelical and start handing people. Have you heard of our Lord and Savior fiction book? That's me when I've read something I really like. I'm like, read the book. You should read the book.
So, Allison, do you have whiskers drawn on?
I do. My light is so weird in here that like I get too close and then I break. But yeah, it's eyeliner. Yeah. Can you see now if I do this?
I can. We see it. I love it.
Yes.
Should have done a little nose.
I tried, but it got out of control, so I had to wipe it off. It was like, I don't have a flat nose. How do you draw a nose on a nose? Like, I start doing this, and the next thing you know, it's like this big, and I am not a makeup artist. I'm not competent at this. I need Matt Valentine come over here and get me all face off ready. This is.
I think the trick is
regular.
I have stickers on my face.
You have stickers?
There's stickers? Oh,
these are stickers.
Are they like jewel stickers? Oh, that's very fancy.
They're just like little vinyl stickers. And you can put them on your eyebrows, and I did that first, but then I looked like Groucho Marx.
No, you look like you gotta be relevant here. You gotta look like Eugene Levy. You look like Johnny Rose. That's the Schitt's Creek we were going for.
So the Schitt's Creek thing is I am wearing feathers. So I was saying earlier I was imbibing my Moira Rose from The Crows Have Eyes 3 when she's like, "Baka, baka."
But
I was gonna wear more feathers, but then I thought I really would have just full blown been dressed like a bird instead of whatever I am now, like an evil queen of birds.
Oh, I like it.
There's a line. Don't cross it.
Yeah, there's a line. I'm not dressing as a bird. I'm dressing as a queen of birds.
Distinction. I appreciate that.
Yes. So we know the story of why you are dressed as Pusheen. Allison, what does Pusheen say to you?
This Pusheen is reading, so that seems to really remove my hair. So we've got Pusheen there reading the little book, and this T-shirt was purchased not for me, but for my child. And they don't apparently make children's size shirts for Pusheen, so this was the smallest they made, and apparently it still fits a grown-up. So yeah, she got all the other Pusheen stuff, but I somehow got a T-shirt out of it. So yay, Pusheen! But I loved Pusheen before she knew what a Pusheen was, and now she's addicted to Pusheen. And of all the things she could be really into, Pusheen is pretty high on the list of good choices there, kid.
Yes.
My favorite Pusheens are all the ones where Pusheen's just eating and kind of like shaking a little, like when Pusheen's eating a pizza.
Now, there are Pusheen
like a little
videos
shimmy.
on YouTube. Have you seen any of those? There are Pusheen videos on YouTube, and there's one, Pusheen's Valentine's Day is the one I recommend because he basically just goes around, or she, I don't know if Pusheen's a boy or a girl, Pusheen the cat goes around basically just begging chocolates off of everyone. So Pusheen's just going from person to person and begging and getting just chocolate after chocolate. And at some point, I'm pretty sure the cat dies, but
I've done that.
I have been that Pusheen.
This is why Pusheen is relatable to everybody.
There's a reason Pusheen is shaped like this. I
love it. And I especially love it because Allison, you are one of the things you're known for in your writing is the way you describe food and your love of food. So I feel Pusheen and you have a lot of that. Yeah, you have the same shimmy when you're like writing about food.
Well, I keep trying to get. I don't understand social media. I'll just put that out there. But I don't know how hashtags get trending. I would love to get foodies who write trending. And I keep tagging it, keep doing that. Doesn't do anything. I don't know if my tweets are even being seen by anyone, but I'm always like, foodies who write, hashtag do that. Because I'm not the only one who's like this. I know so many other people who like that, or that's what they really resonate with when they read it. That if you do a tweet about olives or grilled cheese, it gets like 100 times more likes than any kind of actual tweet of depth or existential crisis. But you talk about grilled cheese and people are like, sign me up for that. That's what I need.
So I feel like this is where you've been talking about wanting to break into the bookstagram world. I think you should do food and books. So make a grilled cheese sandwich and stick your book next to it. Stick my book next to it.
I could try. I would try not to get food on any of our books. One of the thoughts that I want to do is like the cute mug with like the little whipped cream and the book.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that without spilling everything everywhere because I'm also just completely a klutz. But also just I do not have that eye when it comes to a photograph. I can see it, I can appreciate it, but I put my stuff out nicely and then it just looks like, well, you randomly scattered some objects. That's interesting. Maybe you should pick them up and put them away now because it doesn't look like a coherent shot. It doesn't look attractive. But there are other people I know, friends of mine on Twitter who I've connected with on Instagram, who they can have 5 objects and it looks just like $1 million shot. Mine would be, here's a fat bird. There's my shot. You know what's happening.
Then I say you lean into that, and that's your Bookstagram personality. Just completely random things: a sleep mask, a Pusheen sticker. How much? And then
what's going on?
What's going on?
These are things I can reach at the desk. This is not my workspace. So my workspace is about this wide and just has my laptop. It's about 2 inches past my laptop. It has room for, I didn't even put my drinks there because I don't want to spill. My drinks are always behind me, but I am in my husband's workspace. And it's
so he has the pink fuzzy mask in his workspace.
This is one of our children's, but I don't know why it's in here. I don't know why this is in here.
Okay.
Here's the spaceship. I don't understand.
This is because it's quarantine life and workspace and living space have all blended.
Because he had to move my husband is a teacher. He had to move his whole classroom home. And so when we do our broadcasts, I come in here and just kind of push his stuff aside enough that I have room for my bourbon and my microphone. And other than that, I don't touch anything.
Well, today you touched a whole bunch of stuff.
I did.
I think I actually think you should do a Bookstagram shot with all the random stuff that you just picked up.
Yes.
Like if this is your life, you need to read a book instead. Oh, a D&D dice.
We have a guy on here.
Ooh.
Are we all excited about Dungeons and Dragons now? Because I am.
Yes.
Do you play D&D?
I've never been.
You've never played? Oh my gosh.
I'm always the one on the sidelines going.
Future project.
Fun. I know that some people are doing it online. One of my friends locally I know does it, but I have never been invited to one of the games. And it's like once the community is established, it's kind of hard to break in. And I'm also like 20 years older than most people in that group. So it'd be like, why is a weird old lady over here?
We'll do our own.
We'll do our own.
Old ladies.
I was just gonna say, we'll be the old ladies. We can Zoom. We can Zoom a D&D. Okay, I actually think once we initiate Allison into a little D&D, we should do a live D&D on an episode of Vox Vomitus and get like a famous author to be our dungeon master and walk us through like a little.
Can I request Will Wheaton?
You can. Will Wheaton, if you're watching this.
40-something-year-old me would like Will Wheaton.
I would swoon.
19-year-old me still wants Will Wheaton. We're good.
Oh, that would be amazing.
All right. Or we just have like a spin-off podcast that is just our D&D game every week.
They have those. They have those and people enjoy them. I don't know how many of them are female authors who do a D&D game. That may be a little niche, but that's okay.
Well, hey, we're the first.
We're in it.
We could also set them in book universes because I used to play D&D, but I played it in the Lord of the Rings universe, the Lord of the Rings, the books universe.
Mm-hmm.
So you can play D20 rules with almost any universe. We could play a Bourbon Books game of Dungeons and Dragons or the Beyond series. Or
a Bourbon
Island.
One is just drinking games. It's just drinking.
Yes, that is exactly. Never mind. I mean, we could still do that.
Anytime someone drinks, so do you. There's your game.
That's the game.
It's probably not too bad in dibs, but since September, I don't want to be responsible for anyone's alcohol poisoning.
I know. I was just about to say, every time somebody drinks, you drink. Everyone loses that game.
Not good. Not good.
All right. So you've been goofing off. I did want to talk a little bit about what we've got going on, just like creatively, like what we're doing. I think we're all doing crazy things, working hard, trying to work hard, stressing. We've been stressing.
I'm doing a lot of that. That's number one.
We've been panicking. We've been excited though. So there's a lot of panicking, excitement. So let's just go around the virtual room and tell everybody what you're working on now, what you've got coming up maybe in the next few months for new releases, because I know you both have new releases in the next few months, even if there's not a solid date, a few months-ish, up to 6 months. So let's start with Trisha. Trisha.
Okay. Yay! Yay! I have a lot of short stories coming out in magazines and anthologies. So there's that. Beyond the Chaos, the third in the Beyond series, is coming out in late November, early December. And I'm hoping to have a Christmas anthology out early December.
Trisha, is the Christmas anthology, are you contributing to somebody else's anthology, or are you doing a whole anthology of Christmas stories, just you?
Just me.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. That's awesome.
So it is awesome. So I think you love Christmas the way I love Halloween.
Yes.
Yes.
Like it goes hand in hand with the 50s, loving Christmas. I'm all the cheesy, corny stuff. I'm there. Oh, yes.
Hey, I love the 50s too. I know it doesn't look like it because I'm like.
There's a lot to love about the 50s. So yes, I have all that going on. I finished a short story for an anthology I'm a part of. I really can't give details yet, but it is amazing. It's something that I can't say anything without giving it away, but it is amazing. And it was one of the hardest things I've done because it's something I'm not used to writing about. And it was so much fun once I got into it. But I'm glad I have the first draft done. It's there. I can work on it. And now I can work on the other things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very
but to
nice.
I'm going from horror to writing upbeat Christmas stories. So it's a shock to the system.
They're not Christmas horror stories, because that's an untapped thing right there.
I have a lot of horror Christmas stories out in other anthologies. I thought this one I could just be
happy.
Yeah. And one of the short stories I'm doing in the Christmas anthology is actually taken from one of my books that'll be published next year.
Oh, like a sneak peek.
So I'm kind of excited about doing that.
Very nice.
You can be happy. So Allison, I know you have a lot of different avenues that you work with. You work with your romance books. You also write literary sci-fi, and you've got stuff out on submission. So what are you working on now? What's happening in the next few months for you?
Mostly drinking. No,
Yay.
What? No. So I finished the first draft of the third book in the Bourbon book series a while back, sent it out on beta, got great feedback, including one of my betas suggested me kind of tweaking the ending a little bit. And I'd like to do that, but I've been working on the literary sci-fi stuff lately. Not a lot, but that's kind of where my head is. So I'm kind of hard. I'm not one of those people. There are some authors who can hop back and forth between projects. I really can't. So even if I feel like I'm stuck somewhere, I have to kind of get to a completion point to move on. Yeah. So I'm hoping to get to a completion point in what I'm doing right now in the literary sci-fi world soon. So I can just be like, close the door on that. I'll come back to that later and then move on to the next thing. So I can kind of either start a new project, which I'd kind of like to do. But if I do start a new project, then I know I won't be able to get that revised draft of the third book in the Bourbon book series out anytime by Christmas. And part of me says, oh, but Christmas, you want to have it out and for sale by Christmas. But I realize I've released 2 books in the last 6 months, really. It's been 6 months total. I don't need to push a third one within that same calendar year. when the first two, it's not like, oh, well, you know, everyone's read those and you need to make sure that you have a third book or you're going to lose your audience. I know different opinions vary about how quickly the timetable for publishing is. Traditional publishing is super slow. When you're doing indie stuff, it happens so much quicker, but you also then can decide, well, what works for you and what do you want to do? So I was originally saying, oh, Christmas, and I don't think it's going to happen by Christmas unless everything wraps up very quickly with my literary sci-fi and I'm just energized and ready to do that. But because I've been working on that kind of stuff, which isn't brand new work, but it's reworking things, I feel like I need something fresh that gets me excited rather than go edit something, even if it's something that I love. So, I mean, right now I've just been having things kind of circling around me that probably doesn't make any sense. And I'm just kind of touching things here and there. And like one thing that's happening, and I know you ladies already know about this, but my debut novel is up for the Kindle Book Awards and as a finalist for that. So I'm excited to find out in just a few days, okay, did it win? Is it, I'm happy that it's a finalist. That's top 5 in the category for romance. So that's been kind of one of those things that's kind of just poking at me in the back of the head. That and just, it was funny because today on Twitter, they put out the, my agency put out their new client alert. And I've been with them since May, but because they release things every so often, mine's now there. So people are congratulating me. I didn't realize, even though they've known me for the past 6 months, that, oh, hey, your pin tweet that says that you signed with this agent. Hey, congratulations. It's just really kind of surreal, but that's going on with me. What about you, Jen? What are you working on right now?
So, I mean, a couple things. So I'm going to agree with you. And this is weird, internet, who's watching us, listening to us. My debut novel, Beautiful, Frightening, and Silent, is also in the top 5 of finalists for the Kindle Awards for horror. And that is very surreal. It was surreal when it became a semifinalist. It was surreal that it's a finalist. And so we find out, Allison and I find out on Sunday, if we are the winners of our category. Even if, truthfully, even if I do not win, being in the top 5 of the Kindle Awards in my category for my debut novel is like, when I think about it, it freaks me out because a year ago, I never would have thought that was at all possible. So I have that percolating in the back of my brain. I do have a new release coming out in November, on November 19th. It is the second part and the finale of my hotel series. And that is called When the Sleeping Dead Still Talk. So that is a third Gothic horror novel in a row that I have written. And for those of you who have read my work, I think you know it's very emotional and lyrical and a little bit draining at times. Also very invigorating, but a little bit draining at times. So I have recently started working on I'm just going to call it a romance novel, but it's taking place during a dystopian time period where there is, possibly a plague. A plague is happening, not a COVID type of plague, but a plague nonetheless, and it is not happy times. So it is a dystopian rom-com. So it is, I'm only 5,000 words in. I'm a total pantser. So I know the ending and I know the middle, but getting to that middle part, I'm just having so much fun with my 2 new main characters who are broken and hilarious, and I just love them. One of them is an Instagram influencer, and the other one is a politician, and he is running for governor of the state of Massachusetts, and his father is the Republican vice president of the United States.
But not based on any real people.
No, it's not based on any real people. Legally.
Nope.
No, it's not. No politicians have been harmed in the writing of my book. But it's a good departure for me to kind of get away from. I love Gothic, and I love horror, and there's still some horror aspects to this story because it is a plague, and there is kind of a creeping unease that starts just from the beginning, but it's also kind of light and funny. And I've had a couple people read the first 2 chapters or chapter and a half, and they said, "Oh my gosh, it's like The Stand except hilarious." And I'm like, oh, can I quote you?
But then even when you're not writing Gothic horror, you are still channeling Stephen King in some way. I'm just going to blame your location, that you just can't get away from it completely.
You can't, when you live in New England and you're sandwiched in between Stephen King's Maine and Salem, Massachusetts, you just get this. This is what happens. This. Sitting here in my bird outfit. So I'm having a lot of fun with the new project, and it's always fun. And I know both of you, like you said, you kind of want to write something new, and and there's a beauty in creating a new world that I just love. Yes. Because and again, and I think both of you are the same, like, we're pantsers. So for people who are listening to this, it just means like we fly by the seat of our pants. We don't plot, we don't outline, we don't know what's going to happen.
No.
Yeah.
So when you have to outline, then that's like the new sort of
if I had to outline, I would probably want to hire somebody to outline. And Allison, I feel like I'd want to hire you, but I know you don't outline.
Things that I will freelance. I will edit. I will not outline. I will not do Bookstagram photos. I will eat food.
So again, internet, if you're a freelance outliner, maybe you could make good money on Fiverr.
Freelance outliner.
Is that a job?
No. I don't think so.
Yeah, it could be.
It could be. It should be. I think there would be people that would hire them.
Yes.
So yeah, that's what I'm working on. I'm very excited just about like kind of how things are going. Things are picking up a little bit of speed at times. Sometimes I slow down, but I've just signed with a publicist, Mckee Michelson, who is great. And I've already been he's keeping me very busy so far. So I love that. I'm going to have a featured post on Writers After Dark and at the Nerd Daily and in Reader's Entertainment Magazine, several of those over the next year. So I have like some side projects I get to work on that are just more autobiographical writing, which I don't know if anybody's interested about my past. Oh, and because this is Halloween, I'm also going to give a preemptive plug. On Halloween, on October 31st, I have a guest post going live on ladiesofhorrorfiction.com, which I'm very excited about because the article is called Authors to Blame If You Have Sex in a Cemetery.
Are you on that list, Jen?
I am not, but I am the person having sex in the cemetery.
I'm just going to say you should be on that list. I'm not saying any such things have actually occurred, but that's I mean, okay, so maybe it shouldn't be listed as you as an author, but for anyone who follows you on Instagram, all the pictures you've been doing this month with you looking all ethereal and sexy and like floating around cemeteries. Come on, like that's it. I mean,
so that's a huge compliment.
Does that get the motor running? Maybe. I'm just saying.
Probably that's a great.
Just saying.
So for anybody who's listening to this and doesn't know, my Instagram account, which is at Jennifer Genevieve Gordon, for the past month, I've been posting a Halloween portrait a day because, as you can tell, I sometimes like to dress up in elaborate costumes, and I have yeah, I've had a lot of photos taken of me in elaborate costumes. So I thought, why not relive the times when we could go outside and be with people in photo shoots.
Those were the days.
So
well, do people know the cover, not of your two newest books, but the cover of your debut, Beautiful, Frightening, and Silent? Do people know about the story of that cover? Is that a secret?
It's not a secret, but I do tell people if they ask. It is a photo of me, and I know that sounds so egotistical.
It's not,
but
you.
I cut my head off, and I cut my head off, and I photoshopped out my tattoos so you wouldn't know it was me. But it was a photo that was actually taken by my fiance Roman, and I loved the photo. And when I was just starting to write Beautiful, Frightening, and Silent, like it just had the right feel for who my main ghost was. So I just used that as like a generic, oh, I have an author page now. I need a wallpaper. And I never intended to use it for a cover. But then everybody kept saying, oh my gosh, is that your cover? I love it. And I'm like, oh, it's not my cover. But then after you hear it like enough times, you go, yep, that's my cover. That is my cover. And I thought it fit. And I know it seems like, everyone's like, you're on the cover of your own book? Yes. Yes. Yes, I am.
Jen, I'm still waiting for you to my cover.
What?
I'm still waiting for you to Photoshop my alternate cover because I've had issues with so if those of you who haven't seen my covers, I don't have one right in front of me at the moment, but my bourbon books, one basically looks like this. It's got a thing of bourbon, and one has champagne on it. But that's not typical for romance. Romance apparently there we
go. Good.
Trisha's got one there for
like, yeah, I got a book right here.
Apparently, like the thing for romance is to have always tattooed, regardless of whether your guy has tattoos or not. Tattooed, shirtless guy on the cover of everything. So we have joked that we are going to Photoshop alternate covers for my books that fit into that stereotype. And one of them would involve me being carried in lieu of a goat, actually. Yeah, we're not really sure that's going to work, but just
I'm not really
as the goat
that good at Photoshop with like transporting faces, but I will try. I really want to do alternate covers for my book, your book, everybody's book that just have like tattooed men. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, they're going to be like firefighters for some reason, or mobsters.
Yes, can mine be a werewolf firefighter?
Yes, because you live in California.
Of course. What else?
And there's a lot of fires there. Yeah.
We've got people evacuated still. So firefighters are the real heroes, man.
Right. And if they're a werewolf, they're going to be in high demand this weekend because it's a blue moon.
Oh, that's right.
So I know, Trisha, I don't know how I would like re-Photoshop your covers because I designed your covers. So
you've got to get the clothes off. They've got too many clothes on.
Too many clothes.
A lot of clothes.
You have like the shirts being ripped away, and maybe somebody doing more of this.
Yeah, I was gonna say they have to look like they're distressed and swooning and yes, all that.
Some heaving bosoms.
Bosoms. More bosoms.
Bosoms. Anyways, all right. So I've got my now fake homework cut out for me. That's going to be my Christmas present to all of you. One redone cover that is ridiculous. That might just be showcased on the podcast or in our group chat. Don't really release it.
No. We've had these conversations, and I'm not one of those people who says I will never change my cover, but I also will always want a cover that reflects my book and doesn't just go, well, this is what the genre standards are right now. So whether that makes any sense for your book or not, you better get on that. And if that kills me, then that kills me. But as long as I have say in the covers, then there you go.
Yep. That's awesome. All right. Does anybody have any Halloween plans?
Well, our state's on fire and we're under quarantine. What about you guys?
I'm going away for the night, for 2 nights. I'm going away.
For reasons.
just for reasons. I'm going away for reasons. I was originally supposed to be staying in a treehouse in the middle of the woods, which sounded amazing and would be amazing, but then there was an issue with the booking where it was double booked. So I wanted to go away on Halloween, and we decided there's this bed and breakfast that we know about that is very haunted, and Charlie Chaplin and Mary Pickford used to stay there because it was the end of the train line out of Boston. So people would do shows, and then when Boston was dry and there was no alcohol to be found, they would hop on a train and go far north to New Hampshire. And this was the farthest north they could go. And they would stay in this very old bed and breakfast. So we are going to the Charlie Chaplin suite for Halloween.
I love it. You're gonna.
It's probably good for you. It's like the first time I've left my house since March. Besides to the grocery store.
Your house here with groceries. You aren't actually literally a shut-in right now.
No, not really a shut-in. And like I went to work, so I've been fine. Trisha, what are you doing? Wearing this outfit? I am baking a cake.
I'm wearing some outfits, putting on 50s music.
Putting up the Christmas tree.
My neighbor already did.
Really?
I'm not kidding you. So Monday, was it Monday? Yeah, I think it was Monday. I'd gone outside to get something, and I see my neighbor opening her garage, and she hadn't gone out to work that day because the air quality was so bad she couldn't take her kids out because they've got asthma. And she's like, "It's 2020. I'm getting my Christmas tree." I'm like, "You know that it's not even Halloween yet." She's like, "I don't even care." Sends me a picture later. I did it. Her tree is up and lit.
Oh,
like,
I love it.
I know a lot of people that have them up already, and I have a very dear friend who keeps a Christmas tree up full year. She decorates it for like every season, but but she loves Christmas. Christmas is her gig. So
yeah. If I were allowed to put it up, it would be up. It would be up by now. But the hubby has some say in it. I don't know why. Why does he care? But I can't. I can't put it up yet. I can put it up the day after Thanksgiving.
Oh, what if you had a mini tree in your office?
I have a lot of mini trees everywhere. Not allowed doing it.
Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, never mind. I thought I was being like this great mediator. What if?
I've thought of that loophole. It does not work. So I'm not putting my Christmas tree up Saturday, but I will probably be home. And I'll be writing. And I know that sounds like boring with no plans, but it actually just sounds like heaven to me.
No, that's
to have that time. No, that sounds amazing.
I'm excited.
We don't have anything really planned, and all the things we normally would do are all canceled. So it's more of just as a parent trying to find things so that the kids aren't like, we didn't have Halloween. This sucks.
Right.
And I think that's how we all feel about 2020 right now is we have not had birthdays. We didn't really have summer, and everything just feels like, well, it's 2020, so everything good is gone. Hopefully 2020 will be just this outlier of a year and not a sign of things to come. But I did hear one thing. Going back to right before the quarantine started, we had the clock sprang forward, and it was like a blue moon and all sorts of weird stuff. Halloween this year is clocks go back, and it's a blue moon. And so everybody's saying this is going to restore us to the factory settings and bring everything back again. And just
it very well could.
Of 2020 will just fade away.
We go back to the alternate universe. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Either that, or I'm just going to, instead of just the whiskers, I'm going to draw on the full mustache and goatee Star Trek style, because I'll be the evil Allison from the worst timeline, because we're living in the worst timeline.
I know we could all be like the bizarro versions of ourselves, but
I feel very bizarre.
Ladies, I'm glad we got to have some sort of Halloween celebration where we dressed up in outfits and ran with drinks. And, for those of you who listened and watched, sorry. Thank you.
We appreciate you.
We appreciate you. We also had Max Sayak at a weird time. We had him on Monday at 11 a.m. So if you haven't watched his episode, please watch his episode. You'll be confused because at first it's just Trisha and I, but Max does show up because the clock in Finland changed the night before. So that was like a triple bad time situation. But he shows up about 10 minutes in, and he's lovely, and we go over. So please watch that. And thank you again for everything, for making our show, our fun party of every week, our literary happy hour, our Halloween party. What we'll do for Christmas, who knows?
Oh,
we'll let you plan it. She's like, I've got a plan.
Yeah.
So just let us know early enough, because I'm a little bit of a Scrooge, so I don't have like Christmas stuff. I might have an ugly sweater or a few. Or ugly
I just have regular sweaters and people don't like them.
I know. I'm like, my ugly sweaters are just a sweater. And people say, you really can't get away with that. That is bright pink and polka dots.
Happy Halloween, Marilyn. Thank you.
Happy Halloween.
So thank you to our producer, Roman Sorotin. Thank you to our executive producer, Pam Stack. Thank you to everybody at the Global Authors on the Air Network. This has been, Chella.
Thank you, Chella.
Thank you.
This has been a copywritten podcast on the Global Authors on the Air Network. Join us next week, Wednesday at 6. I am blanking on who our guest is, and I don't have my glasses on, so I cannot read the guest list right now, but I will make like a huge announcement right on the internet right after we're done, when I can get my glasses on over my crown. So thank you, everybody, and good night. We love you.